Hey, this is Josh.
Frank.
Susana Lagunas.
And you're watching the House of Plum.
Go ahead.
Yeah. This is episode 10.
Yep.
For a moment, we're going to be talking about a missing case. Her name is Alma Del Real.
Yes.
This is Susanna, Alma's aunt, and she's going to give us some information on how we can help find her and information that we could give out on if she has been found, who you can contact.
Yep. Our last episode, we mentioned we were going to take the show in a little bit different direction, and this is one of them. We've done different type of topics before, so we thought we'd do something realistically related. And if you like, Susanna, you can start talking about your niece.
Okay.
Or if you want to wait a while, we can talk about other things. And
No, we can just go ahead.
okay, so what exactly happened then?
So my niece went missing on April 12th. So it's been 31 days today. So the story is that she went out to have fun. She went to Brothers and then to Rumba. Rumba's is like a local Latin dance type of club. From there on, a friend that was with her claims that he dropped her off at the house where she lives. And then from then on, we haven't seen her or know anything about her whereabouts. We have the local police obviously involved right away. We have been asking for help from the public, so there is actually a Facebook page, hashtag help find Alma, start missing star, that we have about 20,000 members trying to help us spread the word, passing her flyer everywhere in every state. Locally, we have been hanging flyers, every post that we come across, random streets, businesses. We have had the support of the community. We really appreciate that. As far as helping us pass all these flyers, we had at least 25,000 flyers that we pass everywhere that we could. Local events, fairs, festivals, everywhere that we can think of. We also had some yard signs that were donated. So we put those on like major intersections. Down US 31 all the way down to Kokomo, by Michigan, New Buffalo, all those big areas, and by the toll road. I mean, obviously this is like a living, ongoing nightmare that we are going through.
Yeah, it must be kind of hard that when something like that happens and you don't know where to go from there.
Exactly. It's basically the whole world, your own world, is messed up.
Now, you mentioned earlier before we started recording that the way that the police are handling it is a little bizarre.
I don't want to say bizarre, because they claim they're doing whatever they can to help us. And yes, we value their help, and we realize it's a hard case. It's a little discouraging to know that there has been previous cases here locally in which unfortunately they're still unsolved. There's still not criminal charges on people that are quote-unquote suspects, and cases that there really is no ongoing investigation from. So that's very discouraging. I have personally tried to get in contact with Governor Pence to see what kind of resources are available to help the local police. Senator Donnelly's office, I've been in contact with as well. So there is other resources that the local police is not utilizing. They tell me that is because they don't need their help at this point, but in my opinion, maybe they do need the help.
Yeah. I think you mentioned too that you try to get some other television shows talk about it too, like Dateline and a few others?
Yes.
Has it been any success yet? Or?
Yes, the media has been, the local media especially, has been
Yeah.
very supportive of it. You know, putting her face on their screens, doing newscast on it, but also the national TV channels have, two of them especially, have been very supportive as far as getting her information out there too. Yes.
Do you
Yeah.
know if the police have been able to get any surveillance from Brothers?
The police said they did look at the videos from Brothers. They also look not at the videos, but the videos for Rumbas. That is one main problem. Apparently, Studio Rumba says that their videos recording is only 24 hours, which obviously in this day and age, come on, Rumbas, this is ridiculous. But
Yeah.
so unfortunately, they couldn't get any video recordings from them.
Well, I know most of the buildings there are owned by Notre Dame. Have you tried talking to Notre Dame for any help?
No, not a name. No, what buildings are you referring to?
The whole Eddy Street Commons area is property of Notre Dame because they put all those buildings there and had all those buildings rented out.
Okay. No, I
could
wasn't
help
aware
out
of that.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that might help. I have to follow
Yes.
up on that definitely.
Yeah, and you like if they don't want to be compliant, it's Brumbas, right? If they want to be compliant with the case, you could have the police draw a court order and get the surveillance from when she was there.
But the problem is that they claim that their surveillance is ongoing recording for only 24 hours. So they claim they don't have any information stored from that specific day that she was there.
They should have it saved on a cloud. If not, then what's the point of having the surveillance?
Exactly. I personally talked to the owner of Rumbas and I told him how dangerous that is. How I could probably even sue him for negligence for his non-working video recording. So he still stayed firm and said that the police is aware of the problem and that it is a problem that he hasn't fixed. So.
They probably do have something. They probably just don't want to. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they have anything?
I don't know. It just sounds weird to me. It just
Yeah.
sounds a little weird.
I've never really been involved in something like that. So, are you the only one trying to find her, or has any other family members tried? Or
Well, Alma's.
it seems like you've done quite a bit.
I kind of been taking, I guess, the lead a little bit to spread the word out, the information, her face, her picture, everywhere I can. Her parents live in Mexico. Her mother asked the U.S. Embassy for a humanitarian visa to come over and maybe at least be here and get the support from the family. She was denied. So right at the moment, I'm trying to find resources or maybe a lawyer, immigration lawyer, to kind of help me with the process, trying to get Senator Donnelly's office, the congressman, to help me in that process as well.
Have you asked the mayor for any help at all?
I have reached out to the mayor. Unfortunately, he says that there is nothing he can do.
So not even reaching out to the governor to get some extra help,
So far in his word, he says the police is doing their job. There is nothing in addition he can add to the case.
That's strange. After today, do you plan on doing any more searching, or are you?
As far as searches, the community has been very supportive on that. We have gone across Rum Village at least 3 times, kind of combing the whole area, the woods by the little river down there. We had a lot of people show up for a search on the river. We went from north side all the way down to Twickenham and then the Mishawaka area where that Central Park is located, kind of looking. Obviously this is unofficial, maybe unorganized if you want to call it that way, but at least we're trying to get to those places to search for anything that we can find.
You think it's possible she might have got abducted into another state or something?
Well, truly, when you think about it, the possibilities could be endless.
Right.
We are assuming, the family is assuming there is foul play involved.
Right.
Meaning she probably, yes, got abducted, or at the very least is being held against her will. Otherwise, she would have communicated somehow in some way with us.
Right.
Now, I remember seeing a post and somebody was asking about, has anybody asked the police about seeing if her phone is still on or registered? And I saw that draw a quite a big commotion. Mm-hmm. And well, it got me thinking that might actually be, you know, a good question on, has they tracked her cell phone on her last whereabouts?
Yes, and they have done that. That was one of the very first things that the police did. They do have information on, they call it pinning, on the last pinning of the phone. They know that information until the phone died. After that, there is no more information on the phone or the location of the phone.
Have you heard any other cases or recently?
There's been a lot of cases in different areas, which you heard about that Amanda Berry, right?
I think so.
I think that's her name, Amanda Berry. She was kidnapped, and I think she was held for like maybe 10 years or so. And it was her and a group of women, and the guy was holding them and keeping them as sex slaves. She broke out and had all those girls rescued, and I guess she had a kid while she was in this house. And a lot of them have been speaking up lately about their experience.
I think I've heard something about that.
But yeah, like I've heard, yeah, that's one of the cases that kind of went cold, and she just, you know, came up out of nowhere.
Yeah. And what was your niece's name again? I don't remember.
Her name is Alma del Real.
Well, hopefully someone will find some information and find them soon. Her soon. Because over 30 days, that's a long time to be abducted, and you never know what can happen.
Yes.
Yeah, especially when they're, if things are, even if the person that you know of doesn't, you know that they wouldn't contact you within, you know, a couple hours after doing something. That's, if something's definitely out of character, then it's there's a lot of foul play. And do you know what this friend, like, is he a new friend or?
Not a new friend. They have been friends for a while. They used to hang around or hang out
so you think it's someone she knew that probably could have done it?
Well, I'm not accusing anybody.
Oh,
yeah. We don't want to accuse anybody.
No. I mean,
do you know if he's considered a suspect in the case, or?
They don't have suspects because it's not on the probate's office. It's not a crime per se yet. The way the police classifies this, they tell me there is not an official crime that they're pursuing, therefore there is no suspects. There is only persons of interest.
No, I was just trying to say, usually when things like that happen it's usually from someone they know, I think. I mean, not trying to pinpoint on anybody, just
Well,
any kind of shooting or...
Yeah, how some of these things happen, though, they could just happen
Well, yeah.
with no consequence, and you don't know.
Well, that too.
You know, it could be somebody that, you know, was at her work, saw her for 30 seconds and walked out.
Yeah.
I've heard of cases where, you know, let's see, I think, I can't remember what state it was, but there was a guy that was, he was watching this girl for like 3 or 4 years, and he would leave her gifts and she wouldn't know who it was from, and the guy was like stalking her for like, you know, like 3 years prior, and she didn't even know who the guy was, but the guy lived in her building. And he was gonna get, you know, attempt something, but somebody caught him in the process.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know it's not always, you know, people they know, but a lot of times it can be that way too.
Yes, according to some statistics, is about 60% of the cases it is from somebody they know. Of course, there is random acts of crime like that, and yeah, that can be like a 1 or 2% possibility for that.
Like what happened in Mishawaka about 30 years ago, that Lisa Bianco, have you ever heard of that?
Vaguely.
Like where her husband got out of jail and came and killed her. It happened like 2 streets down from where I lived, but I think this happened before I was there. But, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I guess it can be from somebody you know, but more than likely it might just be a random.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a situation happen with my brother got shot during a home invasion, and we still haven't found the shooter. And how everything went down, my brother went and grabbed his weapon to stop the person from running away, to have the police come and, you know, take him.
Mm-hmm.
He challenged the person came, wrestled the weapon away from him, and shot him. And he didn't die, but he has been having years of issues with abdominal pains, and he had shrapnel taken out of his back recently. And yeah, we still don't know who the person is. I've done some research, and I've heard some people say that they might know who it is, but they don't want to rat the person out, which is kind of messed up, because, you know, if you know me and you know where things, you know, who the person is, you know, you could be doing me a favor and getting that person off the streets.
Not only you a favor, but doing the whole community a favor.
Yeah, and
probably the world a favor.
Yeah, and I think that's the issue with a lot of cases that go cold or lead to nowhere, is that, you know, you got a lot of people that they don't want to say anything because of the fear. And I think that's the biggest problem, is, you know, is getting past that fear on speaking out and being open about what's going on.
Right. So, I mean, that has been an issue with Alma as well. Like you said, Americans are afraid to go to the police for whatever reason, to just give them the information. Now, Hispanics in general always kind of fear the police. And it's not only maybe because of legal statuses, but also because they don't really trust the police. So there is that big barrier that needs to be crossed. In this case, the chief police said, and they say it all the time, their immigration status is not going to be questioned. This is about finding Alma. This is about getting the information to the right people so they can really follow up on leads. But nonetheless, if it's a problem in the general population, the problem doubles when we're talking about minorities, unfortunately.
I think maybe with Americans, they're just maybe afraid that if the person in question finds out they went to the police for them, they might come after them somehow. What do you think that might be a reason why?
I think that's one of the biggest reasons, which is kind of
fear for their own safety.
Which is kind of like when you go to jury duty, they ask you, do you know the person that the case is being about? If you know the person directly, then they don't want you there.
Yeah. I think
so,
that's the biggest thing.
Unless, if you know the person directly and you know about the case before the case even happened, then that means you're either going to be an accomplice or you're going to be a witness.
Right. Yeah. And what about that? I know we talked about this before, that explosion, the car explosion by Aaron's house. What was that related to?
Oh, that wasn't a car explosion.
Oh, it wasn't?
At least I don't think it was a car explosion.
I thought it was.
There was a car in there. But what he's talking about is I live across the street from LaSalle School in South Bend, off of Elwood, and a garage caught on fire, which I have.
That's what it was.
Which I have some footage on my YouTube channel. And did you put that up on our channel too?
I don't think I ever got it.
No,
it didn't go through.
I'm gonna have to resend it to you then. But yeah, it's big fire. I got the police trying to hose it down. Sparks coming from electric poles. But
so I thought the car itself exploded or something like that.
I don't know who it was. It could have been random, little kids, wanting to mess around. And I know when I was younger, I used to do stupid stuff too, but things like that can get out of hand when you're messing with fireworks or something.
Yeah, at least I never did anything like that. I don't know if my brothers ever did weird. I don't think they ever did anything that extreme, but messed around with fireworks in different ways.
Yeah, and that
I know my brother. I know they like to buy all those illegal fireworks and shoot them off.
Oh, God. Yeah, I know. I think that's one of the biggest issues that's going on right now is I kind of live in a kind of roughish neighborhood, and it has its waves. Like every few years, we'll get some nice, decent neighbors, and they'll move out, and then you'll have like every other house is a big old group of gangbangers. And it's difficult, but we still try to look out for each other, and as long as we're able to stand our ground and defend the neighborhood on how we can, then that could stop a lot of things that have been going on lately.
A friend of mine's neighborhood in Mishawaka is kind of like that, not that rough, but I think you know who I'm talking about. He lives on 7th Street, but I don't really want to mention his name on television. But
that's cool.
But you know who I'm talking about? Have any ideas? You know him, but I just don't want to mess with him.
Probably.
But anyway, they would get some neighbors that would be trouble and move out, and then because it's a bad area in Mishawaka. They never had anything gang related, I don't think, but a guy that lived across the street from him, I think they were involved with meth labs or whatever. And one time when we came home after a movie, we were just sitting in the car in front of his house talking about the movie, and all of a sudden we had 4 cop cars pull up behind us. So they called the cops on us because they weren't sure who it was and everything. And I'm like, we're just sitting in here talking about a movie. Why are they coming up to us for?
Yeah,
But it was like midnight too, so I mean that I can understand. Maybe they were just didn't know who we were.
I used to wear a trench coat a lot when I was younger, and I would actually get pulled over in my neighborhood, walking home, minding my own business, and I would say I got harassed, but they said that I was they said I matched a description. I was like, of what happened? Like, I can't tell you. I'm not at liberty to say. Then leave me alone.
Yeah.
I had one cop actually. He followed me from a corner store, made me raise my hands and go like this, pat me down, didn't say anything, got in his squad car and left.
Just, he was going to do something but decided against it? Is that what happened, or I don't?
I think he was profiling me. Because the store that I left, there's a lot of drug deals that go on over there and stuff like that.
Yeah, I never encountered anything like that, but I did get pulled over one time because I was speeding. But other than that, I was going to get a ticket for 3 separate violations, but I got lucky. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, it really starts with one person. I mean, if to be in a safe community, you have to report these type of issues.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's still affecting the whole community. And maybe it doesn't affect you directly if you're afraid of reporting it, but it can affect your kids, the neighbors' kids, anybody growing up in that community. So it kind of perpetuates a big circle. If you don't report it, the crime goes on and goes on and goes on with no ending.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue that's going on now is why people don't want to talk to police is because the media kind of more wants to aim the issues of interactions with minorities and police. And like, I really never hear much of like white people and police anymore. It's just more what happened with, you know,
sometimes you
this
do.
black guy or with this Hispanic guy.
South Bend, though, because if you watch the news and they talk about that kind of stuff, they mention Elkhart.
That's international, though. Like,
well,
or like when they'll, like, especially like when those shooting happens, like, they would say like 4 white police officers targeted a black teenager. Now, they don't talk about exactly what led to the altercation. They'll just bring up the race, and it was white officers. Or like even with what happened recently, they're still mad at the police, but with Freddie Gray, I think, was it 3 or 4 of the officers were black?
Oh, was
that were involved with that arrest?
I think so.
And for some of the people that don't know what we're talking about, the guy was arrested, and he died in the back of a paddy wagon from a broken neck.
All right. Well, we got about a half hour left in this show, and we just want to say we're happy to have you on.
Thank you.
And you may be leaving soon here before the show ends.
Yes, and I can give you the detective's phone number. You can probably list it on your screen, maybe.
Yep.
The police number is 235-9201.
The area code's 574.
Area code 574.
Okay.
The detective in charge of the case is Jen Goebel.
Okay.
And you can also call Crime Stoppers, which is 574-288-STOP, to give him any information. If anybody hears anything, sees anything, even if it's a rumor, a minor detail, sometimes that can lead to a big thing. So just please keep your ears open, your eyes open, and help us find Alma.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. And your name was Susana?
Susana Lagunas.
Lagunas. Okay. Well, it's nice meeting you.
Well, thank you for coming on the show, and hopefully, you know, hopefully she's, you know, Alma's found unharmed.
Yes.
You're welcome to stay on a few minutes if you want.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing this time to,
no problem,
to express, you know, what we need.
Yeah, this is a very important thing, and I don't know. I felt drawn to do this, not because, you know, of what the cause is, but just because, you know, I was happy to see the whole community reaching out like that, which is I haven't seen in a very long time, and I just had to help out the community.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's always nice to be able to help out people when you can. So
Thank you.
you're welcome.
You're welcome.
So, all right. Have a nice day. All right. So that was
See ya.
nice.
Yes.
Different change of pace in the show.
Yeah, I know, like, we said that we weren't going to always, like, hit, like, the very serious things, but, you know, in some cases we kind of have to hit something very serious.
Yeah, and we decided to do this time because, I don't know, we just want to have more of a flow, and I think this kind of did it.
Yeah.
People are complaining we don't have enough flow in the show.
Like, I think
So-
we don't have much of a structure of what's going on with the show, and I think you know, this kind of gives us more of a solid structure, and it opens us up to more topics than just, you know, random thoughts, what's on our head, or nerdy, geeky stuff. Oh, speaking of nerdy, geeky stuff,
There's nothing wrong with that, though.
I did mention I was going to Comic-Con a while back ago. I haven't had a chance to give Frank the footage that I had because a lot of my shots came unfocused from my camera. But we'll try to get it on. I got some interviews with some cosplayers. One, kind of a famous cosplayer, comic book girl 19. She was pretty cool. She gave me a free calendar. So
That's cool. I think you mentioned her to me or something.
Yeah,
a couple of
she's-
people you met down there.
yeah, she's really nice. I ran into a group that they do motorcycle runs in Mad Max attire.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some people dressed up from The Walking Dead.
Oh, cool. Cool.
It was pretty cool. I liked
I
it.
would love to come but job always makes me work like
Yeah.
every other weekend it seems, or every weekend it seems like, and I rarely have us.
And I think I had like maybe 4 hours of sleep at a time when I was down there. That was both Saturday and Sunday, and that was because
That's
I
indie
left
for you.
I left work at like 10 o'clock at night, and I just ended up going straight down to Indianapolis.
Yeah. Yeah, when Susanna mentioned about her niece and showed us that picture and everything, I was like, I think I've seen this.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all over Facebook.
That's probably, I think,
Yeah,
where I saw it.
her pictures are in some gas stations and stuff like that.
Well, I think I saw it on Facebook or somewhere, because I don't know exactly where, but I just remember seeing
Yeah, yeah.
something that happened about a couple months ago.
Oh, well,
And I remember that photo too, or the girl, and
Yeah.
I know who she was, but
Yeah, from hearing how the case has been going on, it just seems like it seems a little suspicious on how things are being taken care of. But that's just me. I'm kind of like,
well, there was something
Yeah.
that happened. It was on television a while back where this one girl was held captive for like over 10 years, or
yeah, that was Amanda Berry.
oh, that one you were talking about,
Yeah.
and she finally found some way to get out.
Yeah, she found some way. She was like, you know what? No more lollygagging. I'm gonna get the heck out of here, and I'm going to get these girls out too.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah,
it's
the guy was actually the guy that she went to. He said, I never would have expected this guy to do this. We barbecued together. We hung out together. He's like, I never expected that he had this secret life.
Yeah, you just never know about some people, I guess. But I mean, I never encountered anybody like that so far. But I mean, you never know. You just got to be careful whoever you meet.
Yeah, back
Hopefully, it doesn't happen to you.
back in my party days,
You still party.
yeah, on Facebook
Xbox Live.
and Xbox, yeah, that's a big party. Yeah, I actually back in my my party days when I was younger, there was a guy that I knew that I drank with him. I think I drank and smoked with him a couple of times when I used to party, and he went and robbed a convenience store with some of his friends, and the owner of the store got shot and killed in the middle of the robbery, and he fled to Chicago, and but later, a few months later, he did come back and he turned himself in because of the situation. It was starting to become an international manhunt for him.
Yeah, that Lisa Bianco case, I think that happened in like the mid-'80s, like 2 streets down from where I live on Laurel Street.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly what the situation was, but I guess her husband was in jail for a long time because I think he tried to do stuff before, and when he got released, he came and just automatically just killed her on sight.
Yeah, do you remember, I think it was about maybe like 16 years ago on Main Street, Mishawaka, about that whole family except for one girl got murdered?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was very bizarre. I can't remember what happened, but somebody left their garage door open, and a guy came in and killed this person's, I think it was their mom and dad, and I think a younger sibling. Mm-hmm. And how she found out was she left to go to a friend's house. She was going to stay the night. I think it was a girl. I can't remember, but she came back home and she saw a bunch of cops there. It was.
I never heard of that, but there's this house by my house I thought about buying. It's one of my friend's house that we grew up in when he lived there when we were kids. And I was thinking about buying because I thought it was for sale and everything, and I mentioned it to one of my other friends who used to go there and with us and hang out, and she was like, "Didn't you hear like 2-3 years ago someone got shot and died in it? I don't know if I'd want to buy a house that someone died." And I'm like, really? I didn't think anything would happen in that neighborhood.
You know,
and it was really safe when we were there, when we were kids. And,
you know the house that's on the left side from my house?
I vaguely remember it.
All right, well, when I was younger, it happened like the day after Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
A drug deal gone wrong happened, and I think he was a 16-year-old boy got shot and killed with a gunshot.
House you live at now, or the one in Eddy Street?
The one that I live at now.
Okay.
And he like we ended up getting. He tried selling us a dog like a few days before, and we didn't want to buy it, and we ended up taking the dog in because they took like 12 dogs that were in the basement or something like that, and this one happened to we found shivering, shaking in the bushes, and he was just a puppy, which he turned out to be one of the best dogs that we had. We named him Pepper. He passed away a couple years ago, so we miss him. He was a very good dog.
I miss my pets too. I had 4 cats growing up, and they all passed away. Last one passed away about 8 years ago in 2007. She had some like tumor.
Yeah.
But she was almost 20 years old, so I mean she lived long.
I don't trust cats. Cats are evil. They'll kill you.
They're fun though. Like when we go over to Martin's house, I like Gomez and Morticia. Gomez is hilarious. Like that one time when he was over and
Always
were
getting
you
in
over?
he's always getting in that trash
Were you there that
container.
day? He's gotten big though. When I went over there last week, it was like this when we were over there last.
Yeah.
So he's like about that big now, I think. But I don't miss cleaning up after them.
Yeah.
But I do miss having an animal around. But
So what do you think about doing what I mentioned earlier on the way over here about doing hot or not topics?
sounds good to me.
Yeah. So what we're talking about a little bit is I'm gonna do some research on you know movies that are getting ready to come out, video games and stuff like that, and it's self-explanatory. We're either going to think if it's going to be a hot thing, or it's going to be not. It's going to be a bust.
And there's a lot of good movies coming out
Yeah.
this year too. So that
Yeah, the new Star Wars. There's going to be a Deadpool movie.
I kind of want to see Mad Max. I think that looks neat,
Yeah.
but that could be a hot movie.
Not
to you.
I'm not. I'm
I don't
not
know,
too sure.
The previews, I don't know. I thought it kind of looked neat, but
Yeah, I'm hoping they make a new Resident Evil movie.
uh,
I think they need to have one more, just one more, and just stop.
I don't know those video game movies. I think the last one I saw, well, it wasn't actually a movie. It was a Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
That train wreck? You never
Yeah.
saw Double Dragon?
I don't think so. I never really go to
Oh my
video game
goodness.
movies that much.
Like Double Dragon, I guess like they got their powers from these medallions that they won. And oh my
I
goodness.
almost saw Mortal Kombat, but I never went and saw that. But
Sad to say, I saw all those Mortal Kombat movies, including the animated.
really, no, I like going to see sci-fi and fantasy movies more than anything.
Yeah. You think they're going to come out with another Star Trek?
Oh yeah, they're working on it. Just Leonard Nimoy won't be in it,
Oh,
unfortunately.
that's
God rest
yeah.
his soul.
That's sad.
Yeah. Well, according to Martin, I guess he's been sick for a long time. Because I guess he had COPD or something like that.
I heard he was on dialysis.
Probably because I kept reading on Facebook that he kept getting hospitalized, like even before he passed on.
Yeah.
So, but
Any movies that you hope that they make?
what do you mean? Oh, like what kind?
Like any kind.
I don't know. I mean, they're making so many remakes and reboots that. I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to the new Superman movie. You're kind of iffy on that too.
I'm very iffy because Daredevil was kind of crappy as it was, and don't get me started on that Electro movie either. That was almost garbage. I think they should have lost their acting careers over that. And I don't think Ben Affleck should not play Batman whatsoever.
I don't know, that trailer, man, it was just a couple-minute trailer, but it didn't look half bad, I thought.
I mean,
But
and the thing that I don't get is when they made the comic books, I mean, like, seriously, you are the Man of Steel, and you got beat with a guy that dresses up as a bat, and he has no powers. I don't get
that
it.
didn't make any sense.
I don't get
to
it.
me.
It just makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, well, I think that'll do good for our next topic because we can work on it and then
Yeah.
be more of a flow.
Did you hear that they're making a Suicide Squad movie?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's going to have a new guy playing the Joker. At least I think. He looked pretty creepy. They have someone that's going to play Harley Quinn, and just basically like whatever is the opposite of the Justice League. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah. I found out what their it's not really a reboot or a remake. It sort of is off an old 80s cartoon, Gem and the Holograms.
Oh,
I don't know anything about that.
I saw something a little bit on Facebook about that.
I mean, I watched the cartoon. It was an alright cartoon for
What
the
I
80s.
saw was the reboot for Uncle Buck.
Yeah, you mentioned
And
about that.
it's not going to be a movie. It's going to be a TV show.
That's probably not going to last.
Yeah, I mean,
There were some other movies I think they were planning on making a TV show too, I read. And when they really do that, it just seems like it just doesn't last.
do you think they'll remake Spaceballs
They were talking about it, but I hope
or make a second one? I think they
I
really
think they were in discussions about it, but I don't know if it's going to happen.
well. Far as I think, didn't they say something about making a new Ghostbusters too?
We're not talking about that here.
I mean, What are they going to do with Egon not there?
It's a complete reboot. It's all female actors playing Ghostbusters. Yep. It's all females being Ghostbusters. And Janine's probably going to be a guy because they're reversing everything. And the producer is talking about revamping the original music score too. And I don't know. I don't think it's going to work out.
My child is being completely ruined.
I know, right? They should have stopped with the second one.
I know.
And then, speaking of that, they were talking about the sequel being an all-male Ghostbuster cast. I'm like, didn't they do all that already with the originals?
This is where I think
And
they
Channing
should leave
Tatum
off.
is supposed to be involved.
This is what I think they should do. All right. They should leave it off with this. Slimer's still there. Bill Murray's a ghost. And they should bring back Rick Moranis and the woman that played Janine, and they have a kid that's a Ghostbuster, and the baby Oscar from Ghostbusters 2 should be a Ghostbuster, and just fill in the cast members that way. That's my opinion. And I would love to see Bill Murray as a ghost hanging around at the fire station.
My thing is they should just leave it alone. If they want to do a reboot or a continuation, have the original actors.
Yeah, well, they can't have all the original actors.
Well, all the ones they can. They can have most of them. I mean, Harold Ramis is the only one that passed on.
What about if they came out with a new Coneheads movie?
That might be interesting.
It would be, but Chris Farley wouldn't be in it, though.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think we may have to wrap this up soon because the 15-minute mark came out not too long ago, and I'm not sure how much more time we have. But yeah, that's what our next topic's going to be, how or not movies. So
I'll also do some research on some video games. I might. Well, we might also do some collaborations for our YouTube channel. I've talked to one of the women that was over at Comic-Con, Comic Book Girl 19. We might be able to do some collaborations somewhere in the future. I'm not too sure when.
Okay.
She does have her own YouTube channel. It's Comic Book Girl 19 at /YouTube or YouTube /Comic Book Girl 19. She has some pretty cool stuff.
10 minutes left.
10 minutes.
Woo! For episode number 10. And we want to thanks again for having Susanna.
Yeah, Susanna. If you know anything about Alma's disappearance, you can call Crime Stoppers, 288-STOP. So that would, I think the family would very appreciate if you know anything. Don't be afraid to call anybody if you know any information. So I think...
yeah, so hopefully she's, still alive and well and everything. And
yeah, hopefully. If anything turns up, you'll make a post on our YouTube channel, and even on the show itself.
Yeah, so that was an interesting topic to talk about. We never really did anything real serious before.
Yeah, that's completely different.
This episode almost was going to be a game of Illuminati.
Almost.
But
yeah, I think I think the direction of the show was good, but we need to mix it up a little bit because I don't think a lot of people are too interested in the whole geek is chic type of thing.
Oh, why not? We had fun last year.
Yep.
Some people didn't return, but...
So if you're interested in being on the show, you can contact us on Facebook, the House of Plum. You could email us at thehouseofplum@gmail.com. You could check out our videos and on there at the House of Plum, and you could also see
Leave comments on the videos if you are interested.
Yeah, comment, subscribe, like. I have a separate channel of my own. It's JM Fusey.
It sucks. No, just kidding.
It's just me, you know, giving random thoughts about stuff like that, and the fire that I talked about's on there too. It's my first two initials, JM Fusey, Fuzey.
Cool, cool. I think that about wraps it up for this episode, and I think it went pretty well today.
Yeah, it did. Very, very different, but I liked it.
I told you we could do all right by ourselves.
Yeah, we were gonna have vaping, talk about vaping, like
That would've been interesting.
you know, like the benefits and possible risks of vaping versus smoking, but the specialist that I was going to have on had to go to work, and I tried getting a fill-in, and they never called me back.
Jobs suck, you know?
Right? But they give us money.
There's other ways for that.
So.
All right. You just want to call it?
Yeah. So I guess I'll say peace out.
Yep. Thank you for watching for episode 10, and have a great day.